Sego, and welcome back. In 2015, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada released its final report, which included 94 calls to action. Calls to all Canadians to step into that space of truth and reconciliation, ReconciliAction, and challenge us to do something to create healthy allyship change in this country. Today, I'm going to share with you Call 22. And Call 22 reads, we call upon those who can effect change within the Canadian healthcare system to recognize the value of Aboriginal healing practices and use them in the treatment of Aboriginal patients in collaboration with Aboriginal healers and elders where requested by Aboriginal patients. Now in 2017, a handful of colleagues and I got together and we started just having conversation around what our healthcare setting has, where are the gaps, what is missing in our healthcare system to take care of our Indigenous population. And we generated a little, or created a little employee resource group that we called the Indigenous Awareness Committee. Since that time, 2017, our little committee has done a number of little things over the course of the years to bring ReconciliAction into our healthcare setting. And a couple of those things are as follows. We created a needs assessment to take a look at what the needs were of our Indigenous clients and patients at the hospital. We generated an event that we started hosting in 2017, and we hosted for a couple of years. Those events included traditional foods, dancing, singing, drumming. We had some vendors that brought in educational information, traditional Indigenous crafts, and we hosted that until COVID hit us in 2020 and 2021 when we had to unfortunately put that aside. But we're super excited to say that this year, 2022, we, during the week of National Indigenous People Day in June, we brought in a speaker to speak at our Grand Rounds event, and this individual shared with us their traditional knowledge, healing practices, and their research on spirit healing, which was quite beautiful. As a committee, we're really looking forward and we're really excited to hopefully hosting another event next year. What we also did was we were pretty instrumental in bringing a traditional knowledge keeper into the hospital itself, who is now part of our healthcare spiritual care team, I should say. And what this individual does is they come in a couple times a week and they actually spend time with all of our Indigenous patients and clients, talking about traditional healing, doing prayers, doing smudgings, etc. This individual also, when requested, works with the staff as well, Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, bringing education and knowledge and healing to all of us, which is an incredibly beautiful thing. So that's what we're doing as a little committee in our hospital to bring ReconciliAction forward. The other reason why I'm calling or sharing this call first off is because I want to demonstrate that our calls to actions are not these checklist boxed things. Call 22, check. Call 94, check. Call 56, check. The calls really are about reconciliation moving forward on a regular basis, and hopefully for years to come, not just this generation, but we're laying the foundations of generations to come. And this is a great example of a call that we're just going to continue working on, and hopefully each year we make it better and better and better and more inclusive and more healing and more allyship across our healthcare setting. What are you doing? What are you doing in your work environment? Does your work environment do anything at this point towards reconciliation? If they don't, this might be a great way to start. If you're in the healthcare setting, Call 22, start right there. Again, don't need to reinvent the wheel. I've kind of given you a couple of ideas of where you could start. If you are in a different care setting, the calls to action subtitles or sublists different sections. Are you in the justice sector? Are you in the child welfare sector? Are you in the education sector? Maybe a great place to start is go to the sector where you work and start working through those calls to see which one you might be able to work on first. I work in the healthcare system. Call 18 to 24 all applies to healthcare. I reviewed them all and went, which one can I actually start working on first? And Call 22 stood out for me. So that might be a place for you to start. If you already have calls to actions on the move in your work care setting, I'd love to hear what you're doing. So please post a comment in the comment section below and let us know what you're doing to work towards calls to action. Thanks for tuning in to our little channel today, our little video today. Niao yo, and may you go in a good way.